Hello, hello, hello. 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 Hello, 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 hello. I really should be watching Danger Ranger 9000, but there's one. Mm. Already got a like, too. There you are, Doc. I am fine. I got your message. I usually just do these live streams for you guys. Oh, got some other things going on in the background, so we won't get into that on here. But yeah, doing all right. What's up, Steven? How are you this evening? So, we tried to go listen to some live music tonight. That didn't work out so well. It rained on us twice. We thought we were going to get away with it, and the band called it after the second time it rained. Said, "Now our gear's getting wet." So that was a short one. Danny LMC truck used to be right around the corner from me when I was in Kansas City. Uh, they're based out of Kansas City, and had good luck with their parts. They make some good stuff, especially for the old square body stuff. You can get a lot of good panels and that kind of stuff. Yep, day by day. That's all we can do. Just keep hearing stuff, and makes you wonder. I'm to the point where I just don't want to hear any of it anymore. I know I probably need to, so I know what's going on, but man, I don't want to hear it. New body style truck bed, low buck. Go find a good used bed in the salvage yard would be my suggestion, Danny. Yeah, Doc, I'm sure you are getting a bunch of push mowers. It is that time of year. Everybody's been looking for stuff. Like I said, I ended up having to put a battery in ours last weekend, and there's all been all sorts of people out trying to get their mowers up and going, getting ready for the season. Some days I think push mowers would be the way to go. Be better than working on some of this new stuff. Well, look whose it is. Haven't seen Scott on here for a while. How are you, fine sir? Gentlemen, where? I don't see any gentlemen around here. My Matt Industries compressor pump locked up because I didn't oil one bought new. Well, that's no good. A lot of the new compressors, the little bitty ones, are oilless anyway. I don't know how they work, but um, I would think you'd have to put oil in it of some sort. You right, Doc? Oh, goodness. I'm about ready to hit a fire sale here at the house and start selling just a whole bunch of stuff. I need to. I need to thin everything out. Got way too much stuff. And if something happens, I don't want to have to take it with me, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you didn't miss a whole lot, Scott. We're just normal BS stuff and talking about events that are going on in this fine country. I wonder if it'd be better if I put the camera down. Does it make more sense? Hello, look at the ceiling. Since it's the where I'm happen to be looking anyway. So there's a view that you don't really want to see. Ugh. There you go. Let's do you sideways. Look at my ceiling. Nope, I think on top of the monitor. Am I making you all sick yet? There you go. Back on top of the monitor. Yeah, I've got way too many cores. I got way too many core transmissions. I need to get either build them or do something with them. I think I'm going to build them and sell them. Unfortunately, the shrinkflation is getting me too, and I might have to get some side money coming in. Bidenomics, baby. Yeah, right. I don't understand how they can be so stinking corrupt and you know, get so many shady deals, but yet they don't get investigated. They don't get removed. They just get a slap on the wrist and keep right on moving. I don't understand why anybody can't stand up to this BS that's going on. It sickens me. It really does. What's up, Ice? Yeah, I didn't put any uh, as far as your notification. I didn't put any prerequisite out there. I just went on there and I looked at the time because I was in the office working on my other computer, and I was like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. So I boogied out here and logged in because I don't have a camera on the one in the office. Um, you wouldn't want to see my office anyway. It's a mess. Um, I mean, I guess I could take this camera in there, take the camera and the microphone in there, but this is a much better computer, or well, it's newer and it's faster. Let's put it that way. So I don't know how well the video card on that old machine in there would work. I got that machine when I started my business back in 2010, and it's still cooking along. It's 13 years old now, so man, I haven't been through a 204R in eternity. I can't even remember the last time I was in one of those. That reminds me, I need to get a hold of, there was a gal I used to work with that wanted me to build up a 350 turbo, I think it was. And I thought that would be a good video for y'all. The wife and I are kind of butting heads on the transmission building thing because I mean I'm guilty though, but I have been putting off her getting her pickup fixed, her little Toyota, and I need to do the front brakes on it. I'm just kind of dreading it. It's not I can do front brakes, but this is the one that on a Toyota you actually have to take to replace the rotors. You have to take the hub apart, and they're just the four-wheel drive hub on a Toyota is kind of a pain in the butt. Um, I mean, I've done them before. I've done a bunch of them when I had my shop, but I don't know. It's a little different when you're sitting on your duff on the floor doing it because it's a pain in the can. I guess if I wanted to, I could uh, snag the trailer from work and take it up to work and do it on the lift. And that would be probably the ideal thing to do. That way I wouldn't be laying on the floor. But I really need to get one of those little flipping GoPros so I can put it on my head so I can film a video for you guys at the same time. Because maybe somebody would want to look at see what Toyota brakes are all about. Um, there you go, Scott. Well, the 4200 or the 4L80E trans fit behind a 4200 inline six Vortec. As far as I know, they use the same bell housing. If they have the same bell housing, then yes, they will fit. If they don't, then no. I can't remember which bell housing that thing. You know, I could look that up. Hang on a minute, and I'll look that up for you. Uh, get on old GM's website here, and we'll just look. Okay, I shouldn't be mumbling my username and password. That's probably not a good idea, huh? Because I can't remember what the bell housing looks like on that. You know, I can't get in the parts catalog, but I get in the service catalog. Let's see. They use that. I think they had that thing in 2010. I'm thinking, let's try that. Chevrolet. No, maybe it was like 06 was last year. Something like that. 06 or 08. There it is, 08. Let's see. Transmission. Component locator. Disassembled views. I do believe that bell housing is different. Well, maybe not. This picture's not real good. But I think the upper, it kind of looks like the upper bell housing bolts are similar to the old 350. It doesn't use the very top bolt hole, but it uses the other six. So my guess is it would probably work in there. I've never had anybody ask me that question, but it sure looks like it would probably work. Danny, you have to the code has to be learned by doing an immobilizer learn usually, but usually that's done in the BCM. As long as the ECM is the same, then you should be okay. Oh, Doc, why would you want to put one of them 4200s in your van? Ooh, it may be a strong engine, but I don't know. Yeah, Danny, you're exactly correct on that. Uh, Doc, if you wanted to do that, you would have to put, let's see, Doc, it depends on what year your van is because anything after 2006, so 2007 and up, has a separate TCM for the transmission, including the 4L60E. Um, and it has to do with the ignition system on, because I do believe the 4200, let me get in here and look, but I do believe the 4200 is a 58X style reluctor. Um, what year, man? An '08. Well, I guess it depends on the year that the year of the Trailblazer. But let me look here. Some machine guns going off. Engine controls and fuel. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so the crankshaft reluctor on a 4200 is a 58 tooth reluctor. So the you would have to have a separate controller for the 4L80 to be or let's see, well, it uses the same connector as a 4L60, but I think the pin configuration is different. Um, so if you've got an early model van that's got a 4L80 in it, you're going to run into ECM TCM mismatch is what I'm getting at. That's not always the case, Danny, but I know that on the I know they made a change between the 24X and the 58X reluctor in 2010 and up. I do believe it was. Um, but on that inline six, it used a 58 tooth reluctor in '08. So if that tells you anything. Yeah, I know, Ice. I just wish there was more. I wish there was more people that would stand up and actually do anything. But they're all in it together. I mean, no matter what you say, they're all in it together. What do you mean? I just had an incident. Don't go back to that lift no time soon because you just had an incident. So the 4200 came from the same year Trailblazer. All right, so let's see what if they did the same thing in '04. '04 Trailblazer. That was only the second year that they had that engine. Engine controls 4.2 liter. Um, 60 degrees apart. Well, it doesn't really say in this one, but it does say that six of which are evenly spaced 60 degrees apart. Seventh is 10 degrees after the 67 pulses, pulse from the 10 degrees to the sync pulse. Blah 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 blah. It almost sounds like it's using an old 4X or old 7X crank position sensor instead of the 24. Um, I think you're going to run into mismatch problems, is what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's one that I'd want to tackle because it looks like the crank sensors are different. The way the setup's different. So I would say that they're probably not going to be compatible. What did they use the 4L80 behind a big block Chrysler in? I mean, it'd have to be one of their big cars, Danny. I managed to get out of the shop today without my readers. So I'm straining kind of hard to read what we're trying to say here, but I brought my case home, but the readers are still sitting on my toolbox. Well, with Holly, you can use just about any kind of setup that you want to use. So you kind of make your own system. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of this. I don't want to stay logged in there too long. Excuse me. Mhm. Yeah, non-GM applications. Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, what else y'all got for me tonight? Guess this is Ask Smitty night, I guess. I don't know. You guys are pretty good about getting me going sometimes. Excuse me. Doc, I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody putting a 4200 in one of them vans. I don't know how well that would work. Well, I was working on someone else's car that works there. Oh, yeah, I haven't touched that thing. I don't know if he still wants me to do it or not. I haven't heard anything with him since I had it towed out of there. So, um, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build one and just have it ready to go and then just see if I can sell it. Um, then I don't know if I'm going to keep getting cores, but I hate to give it up. But at the same point, if I don't want to have to move it either. I've got enough stuff out there in my shop. I need to go through all the. I ended up getting all the tools that my dad had, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm not sure that I need all of it. I've got so many cordless drills, and I do have a DeWalt that's pretty nice. Uh, it's a bigger drill than the Milwaukee is. Um, the Milwaukee I probably ought to take to work since all my stuff at work that I use is Milwaukee. Um, um, it would probably be a better fit for work since I've got all the batteries and everything up there. Um, I'm gonna have to have a big garage sale or something. I've got so much stuff I need to get rid of. Need to do some research, find out what that stuff is worth, and see if I can sell it at a garage sale. And if not, I'll put it. Well, have a good night, Danny. Thanks for stopping in. I'm reading an article about the 8L90 transmission problems. They don't have a whole lot of problems, Danny. They just never. The only issue they really got is converter issue. All in all, the durability of the 8L90 and the 8L45 is a really good transmission. The only thing they have a problem with is the torque shutter. And it's more prevalent in humid states like Florida, just because of the humidity and the moisture that's in the air. It's kind of like brake fluid. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. In other words, it attracts moisture. That's why they tell you always use brake fluid from a sealed container. Because if you get a lot of water in it and stuff like that, it'll cause the whole thing to rust. So, same thing with the transmission fluid. Now, I don't know why they didn't used to have that much problem with Dex 3 or Dex 3, because we still use Dex 6. In fact, some of the new stuff even uses Dex 6. The 9-speed uses Dex 6. 9-speed front wheel drive, by the way. Stephen, we get very few snakes around our house. I think I've seen maybe one or two in the 6 years that I've been here. Very, very, very few snakes. I don't know if that's just because of where we're at. I mean, we're not close to any huge bodies of water or swampy areas or anything like that. So I'd imagine that's the reason why we don't. The the dogs are pretty good about finding them anyway. And they're all crashed, including Foxy there behind me. Well, it depends on the snake, Stephen. Little black snakes um, usually aren't. Coral snakes are poisonous. Um, of course, rattlers are poisonous. Um, a few others, but most of what you see is just kind of just small little black snakes or water snakes. They're not poisonous. I don't care for them to be around, if you know what I mean. But uh, yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, we had more snakes at our house because we lived right next to a creek, so there was always snakes around through there. Mm, you wouldn't have a GMC Sierra 2500 with an 8L90 in it, Danny. They didn't offer it. Not a 2500. If you had a 2500, it would be a 6L90. I have never ever seen an 8L90 behind a 2500 truck. Stephen, no, I don't kill them. I just let them go because they're good for the environment. They eat little rodents and bugs and that kind of crap. So I mean, they do their part. I mean, if they're a danger to the dogs or anything around it, yeah, I'll get rid of it. But otherwise, no, I'll just leave them be. Now the big flipping palmetto bugs we get in here, the big freaking industrial sized cockroaches, yeah, I'll kill every one of them damn things I can find. Sure, Danny, if you want to. You want to? Input shaft failure is pretty rare on an 8L90. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, and I've seen it a couple of times, but usually it has to do with a crack or something that's been turned up quite a bit. But an 8L90, like I said, they never put it behind a 2500. They just didn't. It was always a 6L90. Now they did on the 2500 van. Now, if it was a Savannah van with a 2500, yes, they did an 8L90 behind the 4.3 liter V6. They did not put the 8L90 behind a V8 engine. If they did that, you get a 6L90. Um, just like if we get a lot of work vans there that have got that are 2500s that's got the 4.3 in it. It's got the 8L90. That particular combination is not covered under GM's bulletin for torque converter flushes. Um, they're basically a transmission flush that's covered under warranty. Um, They had two. They've got three bulletins out now, but one of them was an 18 NA 355 that covered all the vehicles up until March of 2019, I think it was. And then they came out one for the 19 Silverado only, which was a 19 NA 121. And then that one covered the torque river flush on those. But now they got to the point where um, if you got something newer than that, um, they just want you to replace the converter. But even now they're getting kind of picky on it. They want you to do a flush again, but the flush is not covered under warranty. So then the customer has to pay for it. And down here, the recommended interval for maintenance because of the heat and the humidity that we get is 45,000 mile flushes. And I think I heard that come through, Danny. Excuse me. Maybe not. I don't know how to get there. I'm not good with finding out how to get to certain deals on Facebook. I know that there's a way to get to your Instagram. Meta Business Suite. That's what it is. Oh, I don't know what that is. Well, guess I won't do that. I can't figure out how to get to it. Yeah, I can't figure out how to get to it, so I'll get it later. It lost power, Doc. What the heck going on there? We actually got a little bit of rain, like I said, this afternoon. Looking at the forecast on my phone, we're supposed to get pretty wet all next week. Starting Tuesday, we're supposed to get pretty good chances of rain the rest of the week, which it's getting close to about that time to start rainy season. So I think the wife either said it starts May 1st or June 1st. I think it was June 1st when they start hurricane season down here. Most durable, 60 or 400. Well, ICE, it just depends on what you're using it for. 4L60 can be pretty reliable, and it has overdrive. 400 turbo does not. 4L80 does, and those are a workhorse, but they're quite a bit heavier than a 4L60E. I think 4L60E is something like 178 pounds or something like that, I think, with the converter. I think. And I know the 4L80 is over 200 pounds. The thing's a flipping hoss, and everything in it's like steel or cast iron. I mean, they built it to be a workhorse, and it does just that. You know, shoot, they put it behind in motorhomes. They're, just that big of a transmission. It's one thing I can say about the 6L90 that's not the same way. Now, don't get me wrong, the 6L90 and 6L80's got a heck of a beefy lower planetary setup. Pretty rare I see one of those fail. Here not long ago, I seen a van with a 6L90 that the output shaft separated from the rear hub. So you put it in gear, it would show a speed sensor. It'd show it was moving, but it wouldn't turn the drive shaft, and basically the weld broke. Um, oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Yes, I have had Gator, Stephen, and it's quite good. There's a couple places that we go to that we like to get gator bites, which is basically gator meat that they've made into something you can deep fry, and it's very tender. It's really good. Um, yeah, yeah, I would if you get a place uh, that's serving gator, it's pretty tasty. Very tender meat. Sometimes you get something that's real chewy, um, but not very often. Most of the time, it's really good. For sure. Hey, I need to do a little promotion. So, Oxido is a lighting company for your automotive stuff. Automotive lighting company, I guess I should say. And they sent me a package of bulbs that they wanted me to try out, and I have not done that yet. But I can tell you from the packaging is super nice. And they gave me a promotion code too, that if you guys are interested in LED lighting for your vehicle, you got to check out their website. Oxido.com. They've got it set up to where you can buy individual bulb packages, or you can order like a kit um, that um, it basically, they've got a catalog that you put in there, and the catalog you can fill out your vehicle information, and it'll pull up what fits and where, and it basically is, if you wanted to convert the whole thing to an LED package, you could do so. It's pretty slick setup. I'm anxious to try these things to see how well they work. Got some for the Honda. The Honda does not have LED headlights. It does have projector headlights in the front, and they're okay. But man, the older you get, the brighter you wish your headlights were. And Ruby, our new Equinox, has got LEDs on it, and they work quite nicely. Pretty impressive. So yeah, I'd like to get some LEDs for Ruby too, for the fog lights. It's just got regular incandescents in it, and they look like crap. When you use LEDs for so long, they um, they're such a white light, depending on the color temperature. Usually 6500K is about what you'd want as far as the color temperature. Um, the lower the number, the lower the Kelvin is, the more yellow the light is. So most of your headlights are going to be around 4000 Kelvin. And then of course, the higher the number on the Kelvin, the more blue the light gets. So yeah, the 6500 is about what I'd recommend anyway. And then of course they make different lumens depending on how bright you want it. But anxious to try them. But like I said, the Ruby has just incandescence in the fog, and when you get those LEDs lit up and you get the fogs on, it looks pretty bad. So anyway, if you'd want to check them out, if you want to order something from them, let me give you that code. I should be able to get it for you here. Let's just do it this way. That's not what I wanted. Let's just go. I'll have to find it. I'll put it out there. I don't see the. Yeah, I've got to find the invitation code, and I'll put the thing out there. But check him out. Stephen, I have not ever eaten snake meat, and I don't really care to. You're getting kind of picky there, Danny. I'm thinking on the Gen 3 block, there's three cam bolts in it, plus the retainer plate that's behind it. If you have to replace the cam and you take that retainer plate off, just replace it, or make sure to get a replacement seal that goes in there in that groove. It's not worth it not to replace it, and you want to make sure to put Loctite on the threads. I just recommend putting blue on there. Just something to hold the bolt in, make sure that the hole is clean, good and dry, and put some blue Loctite on those bolts so they don't come out. But yeah, those should be just a 3-bolt cam. Well, I'm looking at the clock behind me, and it's that time for me. I am going to call it an evening. I sure appreciate y'all coming out as usual. Um, I get pretty much the regulars that show up, and I really appreciate it. I do this, I think, just as much for you guys as it does for me, because it gives me somebody to talk to. So I really appreciate it. Um, y'all make sure to take care of yourself. Give your loved ones a big squeeze. Keep your chin up. Um, try to think positive. I know it's kind of tough in the world that we're in right now, but try to be positive and keep your spirits alive. Don't let things get to you, because it's just not worth it. And if not of faith, you probably ought to look into it. We're going to need all the help we can get in the next couple of years. So that being said, y'all take care of yourself and each other. God bless you. We'll see you next time. God bless America. Bye bye.